What is a pooled trust? A pooled trust is a type of supplemental needs trust. It can supplement benefits that you may be receiving from Medicaid or Social Security income if you're disabled by paying for certain things that maybe these programs don't cover, such as attorney's fees, guardian's fees, maybe a wheelchair or some type of assistive technology, travel, things maybe related to housing or furnishing. In fact, there's actually very little that it can't cover, which is a good thing to point out because a lot of times people go to a qualified income trust when their income is above the limit for Medicaid qualification, which is fine, you can do that. But the nice thing about a pooled trust is you can put an overage in income as well as assets in a pooled trust, and a pooled trust has much less restrictions on what the money can be spent on. Whereas with a qualified income trust, you're limited for healthcare or medical expenses. So that's a good thing to point out about a pooled trust. Now, a pooled trust does have to be managed by a not-for-profit entity. So this isn't something where you would appoint a relative or someone who you know as trustee. It's actually set up with a specific not-for-profit entity where they basically have the ability to manage and invest funds for all types of people that put assets or income into this trust. You would have your own separate account that can be used for you throughout your lifetime, so that's a bonus, right? But you're essentially putting it into a pool for investment or management purposes. This is a really, really excellent tool to utilize if you are above either the asset or the income limit for Medicaid or both, because you can utilize this type of trust for both. Things to consider though, one, you definitely want to do your research on the nonprofit who's going to be managing and investing the funds. These types of trusts are only as good as the people who manage them. You also want to look into costs because it's going to differ depending on who you go with, and sometimes they can be expensive. Another thing to know about a pooled trust, whatever money's left over in the trust at the end of the Medicaid SSI recipient's lifetime, that money is going to be subject in most cases to the claims of Medicaid. So if there's outstanding bills or there's some type of reimbursement that's owed to Medicaid, that's most likely where the money's going to go. It's not going to go to other people who you pick. You don't name beneficiaries for this trust who get the money after you. The only exception is a spouse who is also going to be receiving or is receiving Medicaid benefits as well, or government benefits. You do have the ability to transfer whatever's left in your pooled trust at the end of your lifetime to your spouse, so your spouse can utilize whatever you didn't utilize if there's money left over. If you're not in this limited scenario, most likely it's just going to be going back to Medicaid to recoup for some of the costs that they put out. But this is an excellent tool to consider if you are above asset and or income limits for Medicaid eligibility, and it's something definitely worth talking to an elder law attorney about. And if you're in Florida and you want to talk about these types of trusts or anything else related to elder law or asset protection, please don't hesitate to contact our office. We're at Cause Law Office, the non-stuffy attorneys, and the link is in my bio.